one thing about plane geometry, right? So this was all about plane geometry. So one thing about plane geometry here is that you must know what to use and how to use it, right? So to demonstrate that, let's say this is a compound, right? So maybe let's say this is an apartment. So this is the whole apartment. So in the apartment you have different rooms in the apartment, right? So let's say you live here and then maybe your friend also lives here. Is that okay? So you are here, let's say you are here and then your friend lives here, right? So your friend lives here. So straightforward, if you get to this apartment, you can easily determine that this is your room. Is that okay? So this is your room and then this is your friend's room, right? So maybe a washroom somewhere, there's a washroom somewhere. So let's say here is the washroom. So what I'm trying to make here is that under plane geometry, for you to solve any problem, any examples or any exams question, you must know what to use and how to use it. That is the key term. If you don't know what to use and how to use it, there's no way you can solve that problem. Now, make sure that you watch this video to the end, and then I'll bring you how to solve a pure exams questions and what to use and how to use relating to some of the problems that were concerned to a plane geometry, right? So make sure that you stay connected. Okay, now let's have a look at the first question here. Okay, from the question we are told that this P to K here, let's say from here to this place, it's a straight line, right? So from here to here is a straight line, and then from here R to S here is also another straight line, and from the town, this is a town, or maybe a village or a city, T to another city here is also another straight line. You can imagine this straight line to be a straight route, right? So a straight route. So these are three different routes that we are having. They are all straight line or straight routes here. Okay, now what the question is saying is that they say this route here is parallel to this and then parallel to this. So the meaning of the parallel is that these two people can never meet. Is that okay? As you can see, this is not drawn to scale, but the idea is that this is a straight route here, right? So you have this route here, and then there's another route, and then this is what another route here. Okay, so the route is that they can never meet. That's the meaning of the word parallel. So it says something is a parallel, so it means also they can never meet, right? So they can never meet. So this is going straight and this is also going straight. That's also going straight. And now what the question is asking us to do is that they say what kind of angles are V and W, right? So what kind of the angle are what? V here, look at where V is, and then look at where the W also is. The most important thing, as I made at the beginning of this video, I said that you have to know what to use and how to use it. So what you have to use here, it depends on what the information that we are giving, right? So the information that we are giving. So in this particular question, we are told that the lines are parallel. So if the lines are parallel, what I have to do is what? We call something alternate and what? Corresponding what? Angles, right? So we have what? Alternate angles, and then what? Corresponding angles, right? So these are the two things that we are going to use to demonstrate the kind of angle. Look at where this guy is, look at where this guy is hiding, and then look at where these guys are. So we are going to use this property to determine whether these people are what? Alternate or corresponding or any different thing, right? So now, as I said, the information that we are giving is that the lines are parallel. Okay, so this is what we are going to use if the lines are parallel, right? If the lines are parallel, so let's say, let me demonstrate what you are going to use here. So if these two lines are parallel, I've already explained the meaning of the parallel, meaning that this is a straight line, this is also another straight line. We can imagine this to be a road, right? So this is a straight road, and it is also another straight road. Okay, if you have another road that crosses these two roads like this, right? So sometimes you can see that in some book we use arrow to determine that these two people are parallel. Is that okay? Now if the two people are parallel, what we are going to show is that you have to determine one side of the angle that is alternate and the other one is corresponding. Now let's look at the alternate first. Okay, for you to get a better understanding of the alternate, we use a letter Z, right? So letter Z here to determine the alternate angle, right? It can be this way, the normal Z that we know in alphabet, or maybe the one upside down like this, right? So these two people are what we call what alternate. But how do you determine that from what? From this diagram. You can see that from here, right? So you can see, let me use a different pen here. So let's say from here, from this line here to here, and then to here, can form another a Z shape, right? So the angle will be here, one angle will be here, another one will be here. Is that okay? So if you are here and then your friend is also here, it means that the two of you will alternate. Remember, the condition here is that these two people has to be what? A parallel before you can apply the alternate and corresponding angle. It's very, very important. If they are not parallel, you can never apply them, right? Okay, once you define that the lines are parallel, we can move on. That gives you the clue that you are going to have the alternate and the corresponding in your solutions, right? Okay, so this is one Z shape here. So this guy here alternate together. So if here is A, let's say A lives here, and then we have another B who also lives here. We say that B alternate to what? A, right? So the A alternate to B, or B alternate to A. So if here was to be what? 50 degrees, and then here will also be 50 degrees by that definition. Is that okay? So the definition that I'm trying to say here is that they alternate. If they alternate, then they are equal, right? So there's another Z here, right? So you see, from here to here, and then to this place. Have you see? That is what? Another Z. Is that okay? So that is another from here to here, and then to this place, right? So there's angle here, there's another angle here. So these two people will alternate. So once you have the parallel lines here, make sure that you are going to have two different alternate angles in that parallel line. Is that okay? That is for what? The alternate. So what about the corresponding? Now, for two people to correspond, of course, the lines has to be parallel, right? So these two people are parallel. So the corresponding, for us to remember that very easily, we use FF shape, right? So look at the way I'm writing this FF. It goes beyond the normal. This is how we write the F in some cases, right? So by here, it goes beyond a little bit. Is that okay? Just for understanding purpose, right? So if the two sides are corresponding, it means that the angle here and then the angle here, so the top to the top are what corresponding, or they correspond to each other, right? So the top to both top here, and then the same applies to the down to down, right? So down to down here also what correspond. That's the meaning of what. So you can have this F here, you can have the other F here, right? The abnormal. So let's use the word abnormal F, right? So this is the other way, just like a child learning how to write alphabet, right? So this is what another F. So the top here corresponds to the top here, right? As well as the down here also corresponds to the down. So what I mean by the corresponding, if one side here is 25, remember I'm not saying, look at what this 25 is. So the top here is 25, right? So meaning that the top here, so top to top, they correspond. So here will also be 25, and then if the down here was 30, and then this down here will also be 30 degrees. Is that okay? So this is two key main things corresponding to what, or maybe relating to a parallel lines. Once you come across the word parallel, then tells you that we are going to use a tool, or you can easily identify the alternate and corresponding angles in that. So now let's back to the question and see how. So this guy here is V, right? So this guy is V, and then this guy is W here. Is that okay? So what do you think will be the relationship between these two people, right? So they say which kind or what kind of angles are V and what W. Look at where V is and look at where W. The only thing you have to identify, because you are told that these lines are parallel, right? So these lines are, irrespective whether they are 3 or they are 4, we don't care about that. All that we need here is that the lines has to be parallel, so that we can easily identify the alternate and what corresponding angle. So what do you think? I hope that you should have the answer by now, right? So what do you think? These two people, are they corresponding or they are alternate, right? So you have a different option. Those options are there just to deceive you. If you know exactly what you are doing, you should be able to come up with a solution to these two people. So tell me, are they forming F shape? Or look at where these guys and look at where this or they are alternate. Remember I said that the alternate gives us what? A Z shape, and then the corresponding give us what F shape, right? So F shape. So this can be the other way around, and then this one can also be like this. Is that okay? Just look at where they are, and then make sure that you give me your answer in the comment section below. So we'll give you a shout out if you're able to get this thing correct, right? So stay to the end of this video for more details like this. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, give us a like, and comment down below if you have any questions so far. Now let's look at this question whereby they are asking us to find the value of the angle. So this angle is exactly what we are going to look for, right? So let's have a look at this question first. So as I said at the beginning of the video, you have to know what to use and how to use it, right? So what are you going to use in solving this particular problem here? Okay, you can see that the question, based on the information that we are having from the question, we are told that these people are a straight line, right? So this from here is what? One root, right? So this is one root here, this is another root, and then this is also what? Another root. We are told that they are all what? Straight what? Root, right? Okay, perfect. And then the angle here, obviously the angle here, the angle that they are forming here, let's say this is the intersection, right? So the joint of these two people roots. So there's one root here, there's another root here, right? This is where they join. So the angle that they are forming here is what? 85. So maybe that angle can be M, Q, right, and then T, right? So remember that we use 3 letters to determine the angle. The angle at the letter at the middle is exactly where the angle is formed. Is that okay? So if you have what? M, Q, T, meaning that this is the angle. So here is what? 85. So here was what? 25, and then this value is what? X degree. Our aim here is to just determine this angle, right? So this angle, let's say this road here, and then this road, where they join or where they intersect. What is the angle? Which angle are they forming, right? So are they forming 60 degrees? Are they forming 70, and so on and so forth? Now let's have a look at what to use, right? It's very, very important. If you know what to use, everything will be very, very simple. And how to use it, that's the most important thing. And you know how to use it by solving 1 or 2 questions, right? Okay, now we are told that these people are straight line. Once they are straight line, this is what you have to use. If anything, that's in plane geometry, they say that it's a straight line. Any angle on the straight line, right? Remember, let's say this is a straight line, and then you have angles on the straight line, right? So this is a straight line. Let's say a straight line from town A to town B, right? So a straight line here, and then angles on the straight line, right? Any road that joins that straight line. We don't care if here you consider there's only one road that joins this straight line. For that reason, they are forming 2 different angles. So this is one angle here, this is also another angle. So the sum of the angles on the straight line, they all sum up to what? They all sum up to 180 degrees. Is that okay? If they are 10, they all sum up to 180. If they are 2, they sum up to 180. If it's only one root, right? So they also sum up to 180. The most important thing that you have to identify the angles on the straight line. So the angle on the straight line here, you consider this is one root, right? Joining this straight root here. So you consider once you join here, you are going to form 2 angles. So one angle is here, another one is here. So if you are saying here is A and then here is B, angle A and then angle B, we can easily see that if you sum these 2 people, right, that is the definition here. So if I add A plus B, it should be equal to what? 180. Is that okay? Now if there are 3, let's say you have another one here. If there are 3, how many angles are on this straight line? So this is the straight line that we are talking about. Is that okay? So this is a straight line. You have one angle, so let's name here C. Consider there's one angle here, there's one here, and then there's another one here. Can you see? So once they are all on the straight line, if you sum all of them, you must get to 180. So this is a plus C, right? So 3 people, if you add them 1, 2, 3, it must be equal to 180. That is the definitions of a straight line, right? Okay, I hope you are jotting something down. Well, it's very, very important to know what to use and how to use it. Okay, now the second property that we are going to, okay, let's first of all identify why we bring up this straight line idea. So we are told that these people are straight line, obviously. So these people are straight line, right? So if this one is a straight line, so looking at the top here, how many people join that straight line, right? So looking at the top here, this is a straight line that we are told. So there's one angle here which is 85, there's another one which is 25, there's one here which is missing. Can you see? So these people are here, these people are here. This is the straight line. So these people are on the straight line. Is that okay? So there's one angle here, there's another angle here. So one angle, one here, and then one here. Have you see? If looking at this way, you can see that they are facing what? They are on the straight line. So three angles are there. So for this reason, you have to know what to use here. So if three angles are there, you may choose to name here A, right? You may choose to name here A, any letter, or you can use the letters that have been provided. So you have P and then Q and what? M, right? So P, Q, M here is well, let's say so here you are going to have P, and so this is a symbol of angle, right? So P, Q, M. So always the letter in the middle is exactly where the angle is from. So P, Q, what? M here plus what? Plus 25, right? So plus what? 25 and then plus what? 85 degrees, right? It should be equal to 180. So if you don't know that any angles on the straight line sum up to 180, there's no way you can solve this problem. Is that okay? So now this guy is what we are looking for. So you just need to sum these two people up. That will give us what? 110, right? So that will give us what? 110. 110 degrees, that is equal to what? 180. And then we have our angle here. So angle what? PQM plus what? 110 here is equal to. So straightforward, you can see that this angle here, which is PQM here, is equal to what? 180. And then you subtract 110 from both sides. So minus what? 110. It should be equal to what? 70 degrees, right? So that is equal to 70 degrees. Okay, so this guy here is what? 70. Are you there? So this guy is 70. Remember, this is where we are looking for. So which property, which definition can you use again to have this guy? Are you getting? So if here is what 70 degrees, there's one property that is what vertically opposite angles are equal, right? So that is it. So there's another property, vertically opposite what? Opposite angles are equal, right? They are equal. Is that okay? So that is another property. Vertically opposite angles are. What I mean by vertically opposite, the word vertically, we all know the word vertically. So this is the, or maybe opposite, right? We all know the word opposite. So if you are here, this guy will be your opposite, right? So if you are here, this guy will be your opposite. Are you getting me? Okay, so if you are here, this guy will be your opposite, and then if you are here too, this guy also will be your opposite. Okay, now we are going to use this thing just to get the values of the x straightforward. Can you see that this 70 is opposite to the x, right? So this x here, the value here, which is 70, is opposite to this x here. So therefore, you can see that our x degree is 70 degrees. Okay, straightforward. So you just know what to use and how to use it. As at this point, you see what 4 different properties. That's the alternate and the corresponding. So that one you apply that when it's what a parallel lines, and then we also see angles on what on the straight line. They sum up to 180. So any angles on the straight line, they sum up to 180, and then you also come across the vertically opposite angles as well. They are equal, right? So they are equal. They are equal. Let me give you this trick here. So a quick one here is that if you have this and this, and then they intentionally divide these people into 2, right? Let's say you're told that here is 80 degrees. Obviously, this 80 will be vertically opposite to everything here, right? Everything. We don't care whether they divide it by 2. So here they can see that here is let's say here is 40 degrees, and then you will be asked to find the B. So okay, everything here is vertically opposite to what this guy. Can you see that? So everything here is also vertically opposite to this guy. So make sure that you are able to identify that. So back to the scenario that I just gave you at the beginning of the video. If you have the entire apartment, right? So you should know exactly, you should be able to pinpoint where everybody is located on that compound, right? So through the map. So what I'm trying to say here, that if you are here, let's say your friend is here, and so on and so forth. If you know that you go here, you are going to look for your friend. If your friend also comes here, that person is also coming to look for you. Is that okay? So if you have a complicated diagram, right? So in case you have a complicated diagram, if you're able to figure out that this is where one property is located, I can use it, you may go for it, right? Just go for it straightforward and apply it, right? This is not that complicated, but in some cases, assuming this is complicated, you can see that this, we are told that based on information, this was a straight line. Right, so once you get a straight line, you know that angles on the straight line they sum up to 180. So in this case, someone may choose a different way, right? So someone you can say that this guy vertical is vertically opposite to the guy here, right? Can you see that this 25 is vertically opposite to this guy here, right? And then the person will apply that using this line as what, a straight line. Is that okay? So using this line as a straight line, you can see that this guy is on the straight line, this guy is also on the straight line, and the x is also there. So this plus this one is equal to 180, and then straight for you solve for your x. Very, very simple. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give us a thumbs up. Make sure that you subscribe once again, and then we move on from there, right? Let's look at this question again and see if you come up with what another property, right? So another definition that we can use in solving a different type of problems here. So assuming this is the diagram that we are having, even though it is not drawn to scale, right? Just let's manage and understand what is happening here. Now we are told that there's one angle here that is 58, right? So the angle here is what PRQ, right? So PRQ. So where is P here? We have P here, P, and then we have the R and then the Q, right? So exactly this angle, right? So this angle is 58, and then we have what PQ. The first one was PR, yeah, PRQ. So the second one is PQR, right? So PQR. So PQR, all the angle here. So pay close attention here. All the angle here is what 80 degrees. All the angle here is 80 degrees. It's okay. We don't care whoever is dividing yet. So what that we have here, that everything here is what 80 degrees. And then there's another one that says that this is a symbol of what, a line, right? So there's a line SR. So let's say a root. This root here from S to R is equal to the same root from R to K, right? So this is one root. So let's say there's a one root here, and then there's what, another root here, right? So just for you to see the picture. So this is one root or root, and then this root from S, so from tan S to tan R is equal to, let's say if you are moving from tan R to tan K, right? So they are equal. So the symbol here, that's what I'm laying the emphasis here. So this symbol here means that the line here and then this line are equal. Is that okay? So this road here, from here, remember, from here to here, and then from here to here, they are equal. That's what the question is saying. So if they are equal in mathematics, we call something isosceles, right? So isosceles of triangle. So maybe let's say isosceles triangle, right? Once they are equal, right? Meaning that two sides of a triangle is equal, and then of course if they are equal, they have equal angles. Is that okay? So let's say this is what a triangle that you are having. If you have a triangle with this symbol, is that okay? Look at where the symbol is, right? So if you are adding somewhere, meaning that these two people here are equal. Is that okay? They have an equal angle once the line here from here is equal to this line from here, right? So these two people also are equal. Now that is one thing you have to use to solve this problem. Is that okay? That is one thing you have to use to solve problems. Sometimes they can turn it the other way. So look at mine here. You can see that the angle here is equal to the angle here. So that is the definitions of what isosceles triangle. Okay, but look at the angle here. Look at the way they've turned it upside down. So this guy is loose like this. They say this line and this line. So meaning that whoever is here, right? So whoever is here, this portion from here to here is equal to whoever is here. Can you see? So this is the triangle that we are talking about, right? So this is exactly the triangle that we are talking about. So whoever is here is equal to whoever is here. We don't care about the 80 yet. Are you getting me? So everything here was 80. We don't care about that. The only thing that we are focusing on is that they said these two people are equal. So if they are equal in mathematics, let's use some variable to represent that. So we can call this angle here to be A, and then call here to be A, right? So you can use any variable of your own choice. The A because they are equal. Once you use the different variables or letters here, meaning that they have a different values. Is that okay? So maybe make sure that you are going to use the same letters. Test the examiner or whoever is writing that these people here, they are the same, or maybe let's say they are twins, right? So something like that. Now remember, that is just for isosceles, right? So we are done with the isosceles. So the next thing you consider this guy is what SQR, maybe or RSQ, whatever, right? So that is a triangle. Can you see? So that is what a triangle. If it is a triangle, There's a definition for that, right? So once you have a triangle, maybe I guess you should pause the video and try if you have already studied that. Okay, so maybe the triangle here, if you have a triangle, what that means that, let me demonstrate that here. Let me demonstrate that. So if, let's say you have a triangle here, is that okay? So how many angles are on it? What I mean by the angle, this is one angle where two lines will intersect or they meet, right? This is one root here, joining another root here. There's a one angle here, there's one small corner here, right? So this corner here is exactly what we are calling what angle. So if they form a triangle, we are going to have three different angles, right? We are going to have three different angles. So the definition is that the sum of the interior angles. So what I mean by the interior, anybody inside. So of course there are three. So the sum of these three interior angles of a triangle is equal to 180. Is that okay? So sum of what? Interior sum of what? So you can say that sum of what? Interior angles of what? Triangle, right? So some interior angles of a triangle is equal to 180. Is that okay? Of course there are three. Is that okay? So once you're able to find a triangle, if you want to sum all the three people together, right, those three corners together, they must be equal to 180. Okay, so we are going to use this thing to solve this problem, right? So let's use that one to solve this problem here. So the problem that we are going to solve, we are seeing this thing to be what? A triangle. Don't look at the whole thing and say that it is difficult. So pick, if you're able to identify that this is available, just go for it, right? Okay. Now, so you can see that here, you can say A plus what? A here plus what? 58. That should be equal to 180 degrees. Obviously, the properties that I'm using here. So this property is the sum of the interior angles of a triangle. So this plus this one will give you. This is what I was using. This here plus this one plus 58 should be equal to 180, right? So here, this plus this one, they are the same. So 2A plus what? 58. That should be equal to 180. So we are going to subtract both sides by 58. That we are going to have 2A to be equal to, that should be 180 minus 58, and then you divide both sides by 2, right? So subtract this and then divide by 2. So you have your A to be equal to 61, right? So I had my, if you're having a different answer, just comment down below, maybe check your calculations, right? Okay, so A here is what? 61. So back to the diagram, we can see that we have here to be what? 61, and then of course here also be equal to 61. Is that okay? Remember the property that we are using, right? Okay, what is the question asking us to do? They were asking us to find the angle. So these are the symbols of the angle. So angle what? VQT, right? Remember, know how to read this. It's very, very important here. So VQT. So where's the V? Where's the V? Where's the V? We have V here. Yeah, so V is here. VQT. So this is the angle that they want us to find. Is that okay? So this is the angle. So how can we get there? Okay, so in one question you can have, or you may use different properties. Just assuming, once you see the property that is available, go for it and use it, provided that it will help you arrive at your destination. This is where we are going. So we are going to this point. Okay, we have here to be 61, but remember we were told that everything here was what? 80, right? Everything here was 80. So being divided by 2, one side was what? 61. So here should be that should be 90 degrees, right? So here should be 90 degrees. Let me see how I got a 90. That should be 80 here, 80 degrees minus 61, right? So that should be equal to 19 degrees. Is that okay? Okay, why are we doing this? So I want to use the properties of vertically opposites, right? So that property that we seen earlier on. So vertically opposite. I will see that this guy is vertically opposite to the guy here. Right, so this guy is vertically opposite to this. And then here will also be what? 19, right? Vertically opposite angles are equal. So here will be what? 19. So straightforward, the values of what? VQT is equal to 19 degrees. So this is how simple you solve the geometry. If you don't know what to use, there's no way you can use it. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel for more videos like this, whereby we bring you all the details on plate geometry as well as on the undersecond theorem. So you have a special gift for you. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel, right? So yeah, so you have a second theorem here, and then that will be our next portion. So stay connected.